Okay, well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. I want to thank everyone for coming in to help celebrate this moment with us here at Gaylor Electric. After all that we've been through this year, this is definitely, this is definitely refreshing to see a lot of happy, healthy, bright, smiling faces. So we've been waiting, Chuck knows, we've been waiting for a long time for this moment. For those of you that don't know me, and we've already made some introductions, my name is Angela Kenmer. I'm the Brand Ambassador of Perception here at Gaylor Electric. I work in the marketing department. We have one other marketing, or two, Zoe Minton, and we got Jack Heineman, VP of Marketing as well. And I am very blessed and thankful to be here to represent Gaylor Electric. So, for some of you, this may be the first time hearing this, a few of you, but for the rest of us, these are words that we live by. But the cornerstone of our success is here at Gaylor Electric: reliable resources, reliable outcomes, and reliable insights fueled by our genuine care for people is what we are built upon. And we continue to build and we continue to grow. Today is an example of our legacy of enduring partnerships, friendships, mutual respect, and community. So I'd like to get started first by introducing, one person right now, one special guest. We have the Sheriff Quakenbush, Dennis Quakenbush. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate that. And we are still missing our Noblesville Mayor, Chris Jensen. I think he mentioned he was going to be running a little bit behind, so that's okay. And I didn't have this in my notes, but I really felt like it was appropriate to introduce our executives in this meeting here. We got our CEO and President, Chuck Goodrich. We've got Catherine is our executive assistant for Chuck. Okay, and then we've got Zoe Min. She's our marketing coordinator in marketing, our newest member of the team. Liz Tate, and Liz, forgive me, is it director, board of directors at Prevail. Thank you for coming. Jim Cruz, he's our CFO, Chief Financial Officer at Gaylor Electric. Jack Hyman again, he is VP of Brand as well as Business Intelligence. We got Rob Griffith and Chief Operating Officer, please help me out with this is new, of Operations. Excellence, Performance Excellence, thank you. And in front of him is Justin Baker, Chief Operating Officer of a lot. There's all of our departments, Business Excellence, okay, thank you. And in the very front here, we've got Natasha Robinson, Marketing Coordinator and Events Coordinator at Prevail. And then finally, we have our Chief Values Officer, Michael Ford. Okay, thanks again, everyone. Okay, so Gaylor Electric and Prevail have been community partners since 2015, so about 5 years. We've been working a lot together. And again, we have today the executive director, Susan Ferguson. We've got Liz Tate and Natasha Robinson. These are passionate, determined, and kind-hearted folks. Countless women, men, and children owe them their thanks, and we here at Gaylor Electric also owe our thanks to you as well for all of your efforts. Prevail is a nonprofit organization, for those of you that don't know, that works with victims of domestic violence and assault. The organization has done a great job at specializing and working with those who have experienced and are still currently experiencing these traumatic events in their lives. So it is an ongoing, non-stop initiative. I won't steal your thunder, Susan. So with all that said, I'd like to invite Susan and her board members if they would like to come up. But Susan, to the podium, because she has a few nice things to say and a special gift. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is awesome that you guys put all this together. So at Prevail, we typically host a community appreciation breakfast every year in April. Obviously, this year's plans did not come together like we had hoped. So when I reached out for a photo op to present this award to Gaylor, as we have come to expect from you all, you went above and beyond to ensure this classy event, and that's why we're all here today. So thank you for doing that. If it was at that breakfast in April, I would typically be sharing a story or a quote that kind of speaks to how impactful our volunteers and supporters are at Prevail. And this year I based my remarks on a quote from Fred Rogers, who we all know as Mr. Rogers. And he said, "We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say it's not my child, not my community, not my world, and not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider those people my heroes." So I love this because it is so true. There are so many people who live as if what is happening around them is not their problem unless it directly affects them. Well, Prevail would not exist if those were the only people in the world. We are only able to do good work because there are people who see the need and respond. So not only are those people Mr. Rogers' heroes, but they're my heroes. So I want to acknowledge several heroes that we have in the room. First is our elected officials, and we have 3 now in the room. Mayor Christensen. Yeah. And then, of course, Sheriff Quakenbush and Representative Goodrich. So we appreciate our elected officials at Prevail too, because they are instrumental to the work that we do, and we appreciate their representation. Secondly, of course, our board member, Liz, who is representing the board, acknowledging her again today. So again, our heroes, those people who really help to provide vision and then implement that vision for Prevail. And then I also want to mention, so that you know who, if we were at the April breakfast, the other people that would have been acknowledged. One is Kent Witten. He is a huge hero to Prevail, and he, along with Woodland Christmas Club, so with Woodland Country Club, they have a group that raises a ton of money and provides Christmas for lots of people in the area, including about 70 families at Prevail. So Kent was one of our heroes. Brandon Bennett, you may know, is the director of Noblesville Parks and Recreation. And for the last 20 years, Brandon has hosted a bowl-a-thon event, chaired that event, and with the City of Noblesville employees versus Hamilton County employees, and proceeds from that event have come back to Prevail, and he, over that 20 years, has raised $500,000 doing that. Hare Chevrolet, who is a huge supporter of Prevail and support lots of our events. And then Bob Anderson, who is another community hero that maybe you've heard of, but very generous to the whole community, including Prevail. And then, of course, Gaylor Electric. So that's why we are here. I also want to mention just everybody who has come today and your support, and that we also brought gifts for you, because all of you are our heroes because you support Prevail in a variety of ways. So there are backpacks, lunch boxes, or like bags back there on your way out. If you will use one of those or pass it on to somebody that you know, please take one on your way out. And now what we're all here for, I want to recognize Gaylor Electric with our Community Partner Award. The purpose of those awards is to recognize and honor those people and organizations that have supported Prevail significantly by volunteering and or contributing throughout the years. These awards are for entities that have been involved with Prevail over a period of time and consistently go above and beyond what is necessary to help Prevail. So that description is of course true of Gaylor Electric. And here in this community, I know that Prevail is not the only nonprofit who has benefited from your generosity. And a company who doesn't see things as not my problem, but instead sees the need and responds. So several things that Gaylor has done: generous giving, and Angela mentioned several things, but generous giving including sponsoring the fashion show and being the presenting sponsor since 2016, so a major sponsor of that event. Supporting, of course, our gala, Celebration of Hope, every year, which unfortunately also is not happening in person this year, but you'll be hearing more about that. And then also, one of the things that we just love about Gaylor too, and about Chuck's generosity, is inviting Prevail staff to the Gaylor Colts tailgates. And so that's just such a huge gift to us to feel like, we aren't typically at that level of event. So we appreciate having the opportunity to attend, to be treated royally, to feel like it's just a super fun event. So we've really appreciated that. So for all of that, I want to present our community partners. Sorry, do not touch each other.
Can't touch.
Trying to stay. I have another good thing.
All right. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, you know, Prevail is one of my favorite organizations of all times. You may or may not know, but there's been many instances where I own employees. And some of you may know this at Gaylor, may not, but Prevail has helped quite a few of our folks that have had trouble, and so, you know, thank you, Susan. Thank you to the board. Thank you to Mayor Jensen and Dennis Quakenbush, two of my favorite elected officials of all time. So, no, actually, you know, we're very fortunate to have great leadership, not only in Hamilton County, but in Noblesville. And so, thank you for everything you do. Thank you again to the board. Just a couple things that I think is really kind of cool. So I don't know how many years, you know, you guys say 5. I think it's been actually a lot longer than 5. But we've met not only about how you support the city, how you support Hamilton County, Noblesville, but how Gaylor is supported from people that may have trouble. I actually brought this up here. I won't need notes, but I do need a little notes when it comes to legislation, because there's a lot of it. But this year in particular, Senate Bill 146, 1 in 3 and 1 in 4, 1 in 3 women, 1 in 4 men in Indiana, which some folks don't realize, experience sexual violence in their lifetime. Steps are being taken to help this bill to seek justice and heal, but legislation provides the right, and you were involved in this, sorry. Provide rights to survivors of sexual assault and ensures professional advocates are with them throughout the legal process at no cost. By using their expertise, these advocates can advise, comfort, and support survivors, which was a huge bill. You worked with me on that. I thought it was a great bill to help our folks, because just like Prevail, I mean, when you're in that kind of situation, you need help. And so Gaylor, you talked about genuine care for people. We believe that Prevail is part of that. We have a chaplain program, we have all these things, but we believe Prevail not only is a huge part of our community, but also just a huge part of Gaylor. So thank you for the award. I'm honored, I'm privileged to represent Gaylor Electric in what we do here. And so we know that giving back to the communities that we live in are key to that. So thank you very much.